Good morning. The Paralympics have just started in Tokyo. I, for one, have been really looking forward to these games as the competition is amazing. The achievement of the athletes in the many and various disciplines is excellent and the competition intense. I recall being lucky enough to be in the Olympic Stadium to witness David Weir win a thrilling 1500 metres wheelchair race in the London 2012 Paralympic Games. And this still ranks as one of the greatest races I have ever watched. The Paralympic athletes have all demonstrated an inspiring determination to reach and exceed their potential. And this triggered a thought about one of Jesus' most significant parables. This parable is often referred to as the parable of the talents. This parable, in Matthew 25 verses 14 to 30, is set in the context of what may be perceived to be a financial investment situation. But I believe there is a deeper meaning to the parable. So in the parable, a rich man delegates the management of his wealth to his servants, much as investors in today's markets do. He gives 5 talents, a relatively large unit of money, to the first servant, 2 talents to the second, and 1 talent to the third. 2 of the servants earn 100% returns by trading with the funds, but the third servant hides the money in the ground and earns nothing. The rich man returns, rewards the 2 who made money, but severely punishes the servant who did nothing. The meaning of the parable extends far beyond financial investment, and I don't really want to take too much around the financial investment and the arguments around that as part of this reflection. God has given each person a wide variety of gifts, and it's up to the recipient of each gift to develop and use their gifts, especially God's service. If someone ignores their gifts or talents, then those talents slowly but surely start disappearing. Like the 3 servants, we do not have gifts to the same degree. The return God expects of us is commensurate with the gifts we have been given. The servant who received 1 talent in the parable was not condemned for failing to reach the 5 talent goal. He was condemned because he did nothing with what he was given. The gifts we receive from God include skills, abilities, family connections sometimes, social positions, education, experiences, and much, much more. The point of the parable is that we are to use whatever we have been given, and to especially use our gifts and talents for God's purposes. The severe consequences to the unproductive servant, far beyond anything triggered by mere business mediocrity, tell us that we are to invest our lives, not to waste them. God does not endow people with identical or equal gifts. If you do as well as you can with the gifts given to you by God, you will hear his well done. It is important to realise that people have equal worth, irrespective of the gifts or talents they have. At the same time, the parable ends with the talent being taken from the third servant and being given to the one with 10 talents. Equal worth does not necessarily mean equal compensation, but I suspect that's the subject of another reflection. The 2 servants who did well are rewarded in different amounts, but they are both praised identically. The implication of the parable is that we are to use whatever talents we've been given to the best of our ability for God's glory. And when we have done that, we are on an equal playing field with other faithful, trustworthy servants of God. However, for me, The stronger take-home message is much simpler and it's much less controversial. In terms of one's gifts and talents, it's quite simply a case of use it or lose it. I massively applaud those extraordinary athletes that, despite what many would think are disadvantages, they are able to showcase their extraordinary talents like beacons of light. Thank you.